Yo, what's up, guys? It's Nick here with some raw day trading. Today was a pretty wild day in the pre-market and then very muted into the open, creating a sort of mismatch of expectations. It seems like all the moves have been happening outside of normal trading hours. And there was this one stock, SBET, that went about 700% from bottom to top. And it did actually make a move in the market hours, but because it was such a high price name and because the market has been so wonky lately, I just didn't trade it. And I used what happens when stuff like this is going on, where there's like a big stock that moves. There's a lot of people kind of waiting on the sidelines being like, where's my opportunity? And other stocks get bought up. A lot of sympathy momo happens throughout other names, and today was no exception. That was happening through a lot of penny names. It happened through the midday, and you just kind of saw these consistent moves happening, whether it's on continuation names or semi-fresh names, whether or not they had news, they just were kind of like popping out. But mostly it was a mixed bag full of names that we've seen pretty recently that have been getting pulled out of the handbag of things that could move, and they made moves. You had NVTS. NVTS makes a move. IMNN makes a move. NVTS made a nice move here. Let me see if you can see this. Just small kind of example here, but I don't know, from bottom to top, this was about 60%, and it was a very high float name, which is very uncommon, especially midday. So this is what happened earlier in the day. This is my 15-minute chart, or not earlier in the day, earlier in the week. It had NVIDIA news. It kind of sold off here, held steady, and then throughout today, it finally made that move back above the pre-market highs from the NVIDIA day news. Catalyst, but now it's kind of just consolidating. We'll see what happens actually later on this week, see how far it wants to consolidate and come back. This was a fresh name. Lawyer was a fresh name. It just moved. I don't even know if it had a catalyst. I don't think it does. But it went up to test the 200 after hours, but during market hours, it made a nice move too, from below $1 to up to $2. So about 100%, and then and after hours really just took off. Then there was the stock IMNN. This was also a continuation from 2 or 3 days ago. Came from a low of 37 cents all the way up to $2.04 or $2.40 after hours. But this is what I made most of my money on. I recognized it, and I was like, okay, let's rock it. I made the $600 on that, but I also made good money on DVS at the open, and then what was the other one that I made money on? Not SBET. SBET, I was trading with the smallest size ever, and I lost money. But having said all that, I'm sitting up nicely on the day, a little under $1,200, maybe like $1,180. It gets difficult to. Not difficult. I can do the math here, but my gold position, which I kind of use as a hedge, and my silver position, Likewise, those are both down $35 and $7 respectively. So that's what, 42 plus $5 from my Chinese, or not Chinese, Asia stock names. That's down 5. So yeah, I don't know. We'll just call it 1150. Nice day. Anyways, I want to do a study session of SBET because I did not take part in this. I didn't see where to take part in this. The spreads were stupid, like really stupid spreads. And I hate spreads. That's why I generally play lower price names that I understand the volatility on. And, well, let's do a study session. Start out with the 5-minute. So I came into the day at about 9 o'clock here. I saw this. I was like, wow, crazy day. And this is just me getting acclimated. So pre-market, I usually don't trade. Every time I do, it keeps me from really getting a lay of the land. Sorry, I'm also having a little snack. But you have really low volume on these 5-minute pullback candles. Definitely a risk of an offering, which is fine. But nothing seems to be happening here. You have a little stopping candle right here. Really, really low volume. And it starts to take off. So low volume, stops making new progress lower, takes off. Now let's go with the 1 minute. 1 minute in the same zone really looks dry. I mean, I don't have the VWAP on this, but actually check where it was at. Yeah, it's way above VWAP. Just incredibly high above VWAP. That is such a wild move. Wow. Ross of Warrior Trading made $175K on this stock. Baller. Absolute baller. He's the dude that got me into trading, by the way. Respect. He trades mostly pre-market. He likes trading these explosions. I don't like doing either of those things. I also don't make as much money as he does, so for what it's worth, right? This is crazy. Makes this little bear trap here. Makes a $3 move basically off the bear trap. Maybe $1.50, $2. Closes strong at the top of the hour too, 8 o'clock. Runs $10 a share in 1 minute. Closes strong, doesn't pull back really. Has this little micro pull, but like that really could have just been. That could have just been the spread difference. Right here, 23 to 22.18. And then explodes to $35 a share. Beautiful. Pulls back to 20. Imagine just like watching this thing come from 35 to 21. To 20. Taking that dip below 19. Whew. That is some ballsy trading. I think in these sorts of situations, those dips might be a little bit too extreme. But I don't know. I don't trade it. I'm not sure. I haven't been trading it. Okay, then here you have another situation where it's like all the volume stops at this candle right here, and it's like a little pause at the close of the 5-minute candle, and pop, pop. And it looks like it tests just slightly below. It's pretty classic here. This, I think, right here would be... Jesus, I hate when... Right here, looks like some nice stopping volume. Test high 2 times, doesn't go. It's all closing at 26-ish. No. I don't want that fucking... All right, and then zooming in here, it holds low until about the close of the next the next hour. Remember, this move happened top of the hour here. Basically zero volume in these candles here. No one is trading it, which is also wild. The risk here is it fades lower, but I think this kind of entry, this level here, you had a reasonable level to play off of, and then if you wanted to chase, you can probably jump in, break a 25 maybe, or the re-break of 25.17. Not financial advice, by the way. This is just me studying. Day trading is risky. My results are not typical. But let's continue on. Again, the same sort of deal. Builds, pulls back. Low volume pullback. Pop, pop, pop. Low volume pullback. Low volume green candle. This one, I'd be concerned about it going down, but I think it tries through there and then goes up. Pop, pop, really goes high. Makes a new high. Makes another new high. And then out the open here, this is where, like, once it started pulling back here, I'd really be hands off and just wait for the open. Nice low volume red though. Tests high, then rejects. Really sells off in the first part of the day. Actually, no, it holds sideways. I thought it was selling off. I was focused on other stuff because this is not my wheelhouse. I think this is a halt right here. It's our first halt down. Looks like it holds. 35. Maybe not a halt. Maybe this was a halt. No, it doesn't look like it halted. Oh, that was a halt right here. First halt higher. And look at this. It halts. And it halts below the high from this basically immediate move higher from below everything. And it gets rejected out of that halt. Okay, so that's good to know. Interesting. Little lower volume consolidation here. It pops out of that, but it also retests. It was kind of wonky. Little standalone candle. Low volume, kind of gets play, but then just rejected again. This one does look like it was relatively difficult to play. And then it just grinds up. I was listening to Relentless Trader as he was live trading it, and he was saying like it was like delayed action. Like there would be a spot where it should go, and then it would go like 20 seconds later. Those types of names, that type of action is always very, very difficult to trade. But let's see what are some characteristics. So this is high red volume. We have high gray volume, kind of puts a dampener on it. Gray just means that it closed at the same level it opened. Basically a big doji. Kind of both on the 1 and on the 5. Is that at 10 o'clock too? Yeah, pretty much. What happens is it comes up, breaks new high, and here it looks like it's going to do the reject. What level is that at? So it's right here. So this looks like it's going to reject, basically. Like that's what I would say. Well, you have a ascending trend here. Let me just take these silly alerts off. You've kind of this trend line right here. It doesn't quite touch it. It's going to go consolidate for a little bit, and then it taps it right here. But it holds, okay. This is actually pretty nice. It really could go either way, but it's a nice level to risk off of if you can get out in time. And then it continues all the way up to 53.45 and then fades the rest of the day. Also does a nice VWAP kiss off here. I played it with one share. I think I got in at 34, and then I got out at just under 40 or something, just over 40. Wild, right? Just not great at trading these, but it does look like it was driven mostly from the 5-minute chart. So now let's look at some video of it. Alrighty. Where? This is the open. Oh no, this is the other day. Not bad. Okay, so this starts moving, and I'm just like, I gotta get this on tape. And so I have most of the tape from pre-market. Let me sit down in my review chair where I really use my brain. Yeah, so what's happening here? It just made a new high. It's kind of pulling back. The volume, not super high. 9. But let's see if we can see a couple entries here. I know this is pre-market. In this type of stock, my guess is not to be taking the attempt at the high. My guess is to be buying in anticipation of the push through the high or the attempt at the high. So for example, here, watching the volume, I'm like, what's going to happen here? This candle closes green. Okay. I don't like that setup. It looks like it's attempting higher for a little bit, then kind of reversing. Is there a place where I can get in on this pullback, though? Does this make sense? Maybe under 33. Let's see what it does. If it goes under 33. I actually don't remember from the chart either. 32.30. Wow, that dips like $1 a share. 32.31. Maybe right there. Yep. So I'd probably be in at 32.30. And now it's dipping down to 31.66. The candle's about to close, and it's still pushing lower. I would give it till the candle closed. Now, what kind of size would I have to use with that to be able to hold it? Oh boy, I would cut it right there. And then, I would cut it at the wrong spot. Okay, so this is why I'm not doing great on these. So this is obviously a big move. I probably should have waited for that candle to close. Okay. Just assume I was wrong. I stopped out. I'm waiting for the candle to close now. It's 10 seconds till it closes. Let's see it really unwind maybe. Boom, right there. So I'd be in 31.60 or so. It's bought up quickly. So now I can hold. Up $1 a share, but the chart And I'll hold it to break even. Maybe 31.50, maybe, but probably break even. The reason why I would hold a little bit longer on this type of stock is I feel like it's harder to find good spots to manage your risk on. And once I have a good spot, I think I would be more likely to just be like, let's keep it. But that could be a bad move because look, it's coming down to test again. I don't know. Maybe that's another mistake that I'm making. Yeah, see, look, I would only be up 40 cents at the point, and this could unwind very quickly. I'd be thinking under 32 to cut. Oh, cutting right there. Big seller. Let's see that second downdraft. Boom, boom. Buy up again. Yep. And I'd be slightly late. Hmm. Huh. This is really a good position to buy, but not a fantastic position to hold from. Because I think the theory is if it really does unwind surprisingly, as you're buying, you're just going to get filled much lower, which is okay. But if you're holding from up here, or at least you have a chance of it, if you're holding from up here, you're already set there. And then if it unwinds much, much farther, I don't know. Bishops vary. Or I guess I could have held and added because it is a recognizable setup right there. The whole point of the stock market, it does everything it can to put you in a difficult situation to manage. And ideally, you want to be doing that to the market as well, as in you want to put yourself in the easiest situation to manage and put other people in the hardest situation to manage. Like you're playing a game against them, basically. You're playing poker in a very comparable way. You're playing against other traders. Like you want them to be stopping out. You want to buy their stop outs, basically. Not investment advice, but like the middle of the range is also where just in general on across the board on the stocks, like right here, I might have before been like, oh, it might go up to 63. But the next entry for me currently, not buying breakouts, not trusting would not be here. Although it is looking nice. Let's see if it wants to break above. Let's say I would buy it. Bids are creeping. All right, that closes strong, but it closes under. So now I'm expecting a little bit of a test lower. Doesn't want to test too much. Buy. If I were buying breakouts, I would have bought that. And then now, what do we got? Oh, probably stopping right there. And there it goes. Okay, so What was I wrong about? Test 37, pulls back slightly. Then reversal. And then goes. What am I missing? I feel like if I were to trade this, I'd just get slipped too. I would buy a second too late and then call it slip. Wow. Okay, so the break did, if you look at it in terms of like opportunities, you have the initial break, or there is the initial break, and it creeps up a little bit, okay, to the level of 37. It's going to pull back here a second. Green on the tape and red on the tape. Pulls back. Green on tape buy. But then it pops all the way up to, see that second time, if you were to wait for the green on the tape and not be the green on the tape, it's popping to 38 basically, like $1 a share, and then the bid's back down and the ask is back down to 37.03. That's why breakouts are annoying as fuck. But back up again, so you're like, okay. And then I'm just like, ah. So what would have got rewarded in that scenario is once it tapped 37, buying under 37, not buying higher than 37, maybe buying that, holding a little bit because that the bids aren't stable yet, selling, selling, selling. There's a lot to be said about, like, you can look at these candlesticks, but the real actual prices you can get in and out at, especially like on all stocks, but especially on stocks like this, are just different in real time. Hmm. Now, what's this open look like? No reward for the buyers there. The spread never caught up to the original offer. Like the bids never caught up to the original offer. So I don't even, or maybe they caught up and it was just like break even, but it did not look very rewarding. This thing had already run. This is I guess 400%, 379 or so. Feels like it should have been more, but maybe it is. Maybe that read is wrong. Testing the halt lower. Does it halt? Looks like it will. Whoa. Heyo. That buy off the halt level just got rewarded. Even the bounce off the halt level, the chase, got rewarded too. Interesting. Hmm. Back down. See if there's a dip below this consolidation. I want to see what that looks like. Maybe 30. I'd want to chase it already. Right now I'd be at break even. Cutting it probably. Mm. Instinctually, I wanted to take that uptick there, but it retested lower as well. Oh, man, these are really, my instincts just don't work on stocks like this. Price range. I think that the spread differential makes me think that it's jumping higher than it is. And so I chase it because that may be in a situation where it did jump a high percentage, the chase would be right. But just trying to halt down again here. Such low volume. Buy off of that. I'm not sure what the fills would be like. No me gusta. This bounce didn't happen quick enough, so I'm unloading on DEVS here. But it looked like there was potential. Maybe there wasn't, but I got a decent trade off of that. Nice control too on the entry. It was holding, and it kept trying to sell, but the sell orders were just kept getting like bounced off the lows. All right, back to the other stock. NVTS, yeah, this was an example of something that went. I just was like, not really happy about it. SBET keeps holding, but then it's like I just lose attention span here because I'm like, what do I don't know what to do with that. That looks horrible. It's lower high, it's stacking red volume. I guess it looks like it's rebounding right here. Xena starts moving, whatever works. Whoa, sucky. Xena actually was pretty strong. I didn't like this one. This one, I understood it to be very difficult to trade, and I was like, this is not something I want to risk money on right now. I didn't feel confident on it. Sorry, I'm chewing on some clove. Yeah. And then SBET, I come back to it just because it keeps holding up. I'm like, okay, might as well have it on video. And it kind of starts breaking a little bit. I wonder where I take my L. Oh, there's a halt here somewhere. I forgot about that. Yeah, I was back a little bit. Huh. It's like it's just hard to read because there's not a lot of volume going through. Usually, what happens is the volume going through will make it visible, I guess, in theory, where the hidden orders are because it'll bounce off certain prices and it'll show you how the algorithms are acting. There's just it feels like there's a lot of room to hide on this one. I don't know. I could be wrong. Feels very like thin, like it moves on not a lot of volume, and maybe even the market makers and the big orders don't know what they're doing on it. So whatever. All right, so that was the high. Now this is approaching the high. 30-minute candle is closing. It's red. Well, I'm falling asleep. See, this is the problem. I'm just like, I just don't care. I fell asleep for a second there. Oh, well, I'm making a video and talking. I don't even know how to trade this. What am I supposed to do? Buy there. Sell there. Oh, now it's pushing 40. Oh, breaks immediately. Okay. It's a good sign. Hmm. Trying to see. Trying to see if I could have gotten in near the low of that candle. I mean, really, the answer is not so much. Like it didn't really that the spread didn't really come down. So, hmm. It stayed at 39 roughly, which makes me think if I tried to buy at any point, even if it were just under 39, I would have gotten filled at 39. So let's see how this next candle closes. Where would be the setup? Oh, pushes high. Okay, so here might be a setup. Boom, boom. Pushing. There. And still I get filled at 39, it looks like. And then probably cutting right there. And since I cut there, I can get back in on this next dip if it dips again. But I don't know if it will. And I'm okay with that. Can make a new pattern. I got it. I might have to take a nap here. Buy that up. Okay, so I'm at 38. Stop, I guess, is 37. I can play with 100 shares, maybe. Break even here for a second. Small profit. Okay, now there's some volume coming in. Let's see how this closes. I'm going to cut it if it goes below my entry. If it does, it's fine. I think I'll be able to get out in time. It's pretty decent. Pretty decent area. It seems like there's a lot of support. And it looks like it's trying to push. As long as this next 10 seconds closes nicely. Okay, so there's the close. Can we get 40? Can we get 40? I remember trading GME and just like stopping out on it, like on a really bad day. But it kind of felt like this type of action. Or it was a higher price range, of course, but like I was trading with like 100 shares, and boy, did I lose a lot of money. All right, so all right, we'll see how that closes. I'm not sure I like this. I'll probably take it off over 40 if it gets there, and if it goes back below 39, I'll probably take it off too. Taking it off, yeah. Might have chickened out there, but that's okay. That was a decent trade. $100 on just 100 shares, maybe 200 shares. Since what was it, 8,000? 80,000? I don't know. Might have been okay to buy that. Oh, look at that. Right back up. Boom. Alright, so it does this kind of consolidation. Wouldn't be in it. Pushing higher, pushing lower. Consolidating, consolidating. Now I just want to watch this extension because there's an extension here somewhere. And now let's look, is there any pre-event indicators? Oh, and of course I get away from it and start watching something else. And there's the extension. Well, say la vie, don't get it on tape. That's annoying. All right, let's see if there's anything else to go over today. SBET pre-bonkers, we did that. Oh. SBET high day break at 10:30. Yep, did that. Have an interesting, just overall note. Winning is very quiet. This was after I was up $1,000, but like not on SBET, of course. But I was just thinking about how like I decided not to trade breakouts today. I didn't trade breakouts, and it was much more peaceful. I decided not to drink coffee at first in the morning and just drink water, much more peaceful. And I decided also not to use YouTube or to use Instagram until after trading hours on West Coast time, and also made it very quiet. And so like I didn't have any real distractions. I also meditated in the middle of the day when stuff was a little bit slower. And sorry, I'm just watching the SBET now. And I wrote this note. Let's fast forward a little bit. Oh, what do we got here? How does it extend? Why does it? Oh, it goes through 45. Interesting. It's holding, a little dip there. Maybe buy that dip. Maybe, I don't know. What would it look like if I did? Oof. Buy. Oof. Looks horrid. It'd stop out twice. And if I bought there, that would be that would be an uptick chase. So I don't think I would have bought it. At least not at the moment. Interesting. Buy that. Wow. What is happening here? Crazy, eh? It just kind of keeps creeping up to 50 right there. All right. pretty big seller right here gets broken. Gets broken. 599.03. Boom. 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 It's low there. 76 something. Let's get it down to 45 maybe. 46. Let me buy that. Buy again because it's holding. Buy again. Yeah. I mean, I know what happens, but the tape does look right for it. And then probably selling a little above 48. A little bit more. Yeah. Nice retest there. Q. Lawyer starts going. Alright. And then we'll go do 847. What time is that? I need 1436. Yeah, so that's going to be the last video segment that I have. Alright. So IMNN keeps pushing. I'm like, I'm not going to take any of this crap. It goes without me more or less. Pushing above the 200 and then reversing. Or that might not be the 200. I think that's just like a long. I forgot what I was just going to say. A significant level. All right, so I'm not making any money. And then there's a nice bear trap right here. I make a little bit. My neighbors above me are pretty crazy. Oh, no, I don't take any of it. I'm like, I'm not taking a breakout. It's midday. I don't need to do this. Helps that I'm up 500 or so on the day. Then it just really opens up. And I'm like, okay, no, there it goes. You know, so let me take a small trade there. And then, okay, so this is a decent, this is a nice trade. Boom, flushes, I buy, like I add too. Yep, add. So I'm in with 3K shares. I'm like, oh, let's see how this closes. Comes into a big seller. I unload one at 203. And it's not looking like very strong, and so I unload the other. Actually, unload another half of the current position. Yeah, just a nice trade all in all. Okay. And then I unload the other part. And then the next trade comes, I think, down here. I was a lot more cautious. I'd given a little bit back testing lows. And I was just like, I size down. And then I get a position. Oh, wrong, not that one. This one. I get a position here. 188 is my average. And then I just hold this. This is like, let's see how it closes. This was my mantra. Let's see how it closes. And eventually it's back up to 2. And I'm like, let's see how it closes. I'm like, all right, I will cut it once it goes down below my average or if it explodes higher. And it actually explodes higher at this point. bop, bop. Take off half, take off the other half, and that put me up another couple $100. It was pretty small size, pretty low risk. It was nice. All right, I'm done for the day with this. I have to go pee like a racehorse. Day trading's risky. My results are not typical. Keep up with the market sentiment, what setups are working, what setups are not working, and I will catch you guys later. Don't try this at home. Goodbye. Yeah, for real. This is not investment advice. All right, I'm done.